Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sergeant Laquita Wade, Public Information Officer with the Birmingham Police Department's Public Information Division, and we would like to thank you all for being here today. Police Chief Scott Thurman will discuss major updates in multiple homicide investigations. Once Chief is complete, we will have a few questions and answers. Everyone, please limit your questions to the investigations that we will discuss on today. Thank you. Chief Thurman.
So good afternoon. So I want to discuss, as Sergeant Wade said, several updates on several recent homicides, but I'll be very candid up front. There'll be very limited information on what I'm able to give on some of these investigations. So these will be in chronological order. Our first arrest was of Damien McDaniel, black male, 22 years of age. He is charged with murder with no bond in the murder of Detrinette Brown. That murder occurred on Thursday, September 19th, 2024 at 604 9th Street North. McDaniel is also charged with capital murder and 17 counts of attempted murder in the mass shooting that occurred on Saturday, September 21st, 2024 in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue in the 5 Point South Entertainment District. These charges have no bond. On September 22nd, 2024, a homicide occurred at 775 81st Place South, which resulted in the death of Jamarcus McIntyre. The following suspects have been charged in his arrest. Damien McDaniel, black male, 22 years of age. He's charged with capital murder and 3 counts of attempted murder in this case with no bond. Naquan Lawler, black male, 22 years of age, is charged with capital murder and 3 counts of attempted murder with no bond in this case. Larry Rollins Jr., black male, 31 years of age, is charged with capital murder and trafficking heroin with no bond. And DeMarco Beck, black male, 29 years of age, is charged with capital murder with no bond. I would like to thank the following law enforcement agents who assisted the Birmingham Police Department: the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the United States Secret Service, the United States Marshal Service, the United States U.S. Attorney's Office, the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, and the members of the Birmingham Police Department. But more importantly, I'd like to thank the men and women from all these agencies who have worked tirelessly to bring these charges against these suspects. You have given this investigation all you have, day and night, and I'm extremely grateful. Thank you. Yes, Carol.
Can you tell us how all of these homicides are linked?
Well, you have a common suspect for one thing that's charged in all 3, which is Damien McDaniel. And
Can you tell us what the motive is?
I can't get into that. These cases have, as you've seen, have taken over 3.5 weeks to get to this point. There is a tremendous amount of man and woman power that were put into these investigations, and this is just one step in moving forward. There's a lot more to come in these investigations as we prepare for court and other things. And so we need to ensure the integrity of these cases.
In any of these cases that you just mentioned, do you believe that there's any more suspects possible for any of those? And how crucial was it, if at all, the amount of tips that came in from the public?
We received over 300 tips between Crime Stoppers and our QR code. They were extremely helpful. As I said, the investigations are ongoing. We don't know if there's any other suspects at this point in time.
Are y'all looking at a federal RICO case?
Not at this point in time.
In the 604 lounge killing, was Miss Brown an innocent bystander, or was she the targeted victim?
It appears she was an innocent bystander.
Just talk about the magnitude of this case and the number of killings involving the number of people, suspects and victims in a 72-hour period.
Well, it's tremendous. I mean, we've got six people who lost their life, not to mention 17 people who were injured in the mass shooting in 5 Point South Entertainment District. It's tremendous for our community, for our city, for our business owners, for our law enforcement. I mean, the number of hours that have been put into this investigation is astronomical. But I really applaud the men and women who stepped up to the plate to get it done. I mean, they've worked day and night for 3.5 weeks. So it's just tremendous. And I'm just very thankful that we're able to get to this resolution today. That we're able to assure the community that the Birmingham Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners are going to continue to work together to bring safety to the city of Birmingham.
Can you highlight to the community if there's any message you want to make sure they're aware of? As undoubtedly we're highlighting a tremendous amount of partnership and success, but moving forward, what are the next steps as y'all continue to find justice for those impacted?
Well, it's just preparing for court for the next steps. And so one thing to be mindful of, just because an arrest has been made or warrants have been obtained, that's just one small part of the puzzle. There's the court process. There'll be multiple hearings, grand jury, other things. So there's a lot to come in the future.
Can you talk about Damien McDaniel at all? I mean, you've got a 22-year-old accused of shooting 6 people in 72 hours. What do you know about him?
I don't have any further information on him. So there's no further information I can give on him.
Are any of these suspects being looked at as being connected to any other unsolved homicides BPD is currently investigating?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is McDaniel the only one being charged with the 17 counts of attempted murder?
Yes,
Do we have a
He's
motive
the only
at all
one
for-
charged in Hush, correct?
correct.
Do we have a motive at all for them with the McIntyre situation?
It's not something that we're going to divulge at this point in time.
You all said that there were multiple shooters in the Hush shooting, so I know that this was asked previously, but is there anybody else that maybe is being questioned now as a person of interest? Like, do you guys plan on announcing any more arrests in that? Or has the investigation showing that there's multiple shooters, has that changed?
All I can say is what I've said before, is that investigations are ongoing, and just leave it at that.
What does it mean to you and your department to be able to go to these families who have been impacted by this senseless violence and be able to tell them that an arrest has finally been made?
Well, I think that's one of the greatest things that a detective can do in their career, is to be able to tell a family that you've been able to get some sort of closure or some sort of justice for their loved one who was either injured or killed. It's extremely satisfying. It's kind of what makes it all worth it, is to be able to do that for a family.
We spoke to Crime Stoppers a few days ago, and they said that they had about 130 tips. Would you say that those tips were integral in making this arrest?
You know, all the tips were. You know, we received about 200 or so here through our QR code. There's all little bits of information that came from various tips, and so there's just a lot of things that really assisted in putting this investigation together. The tips were critical. We applaud the community for coming forward. We've never had that many tips in any case before, so I have to, hats off to the community for sharing that information with us and being willing to share that information with us.
These arrests that have been made, what message do you want that to send to the community?
That the Birmingham Police Department, and as I said, our law enforcement partners are going to continue to work hard every day to ensure the safety of our citizens, our visitors, and then we're going to hold those accountable for committing these types of crimes.
Now that arrests have been made, are we able to identify if any automated weapons or, I guess, switches were used in some of these crimes?
That's something that's going to be critical to the investigation that I'm not going to discuss.
We've had more violence happen, lately after the Hush shooting. What is your message to the perpetrators, to those who continue to step outside and shoot young children, like we saw yesterday?
Well, just that we're going to continue to work hard every day to stop gun violence. I mean, gun violence is the #1 problem in Birmingham right now. The majority of our crime is down almost double digits. Our overall crime is down 11.3%, I think, as of today. But gun violence is just the worst one, and of course, it's the one we're having the biggest problem with. And it's the hardest one for police to get a handle on. It's when two people have an altercation somewhere that's unplanned, it's very hard for law enforcement to get involved in that ahead of time. So we look at all of our shootings, our homicides, and other cases too. Where could we have, as law enforcement, intervened prior to that taking place? And 9.8 times out of 10, there wasn't at a point where we could have intervened. So it makes it very difficult for us to get ahead of those things. So we're going to continue to work hard. We're going to continue to do everything we can. And the city council and the mayor have put some tremendous things in place. They're going to help us bring up our numbers in department. I'm fully confident that next year's time we'll be having a very different discussion about the number of men and women on the Birmingham Police Force.
And we will have one more question.
You had said earlier on that this was that the Hush shooting was possibly a murder for hire. Is that still your thinking? And if so, can you say who the target or targets were?
I can't say who the target was. It's just one thing that we're still exploring.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
you.